It's time to plan Q1 of 2022. Let's do it. I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel. I'm a biz coach and integrator for creatives, helping you make dreams and dailies happen. Today, we're doing one of my favorite things, planning out Q1 of this year. Now, I'm going to show you how you can take a blank calendar and make it look like this. There are some really easy steps to follow that will allow you to be strategic about what you're putting on your quarterly calendar so that you know you have a solid and strategic plan for what the next 90 days are going to look like. Now, y'all know I love quarterly planning. I'm all about talking about quarterly planning. So I'm excited to start this series with y'all where we can start planning the quarters as they come. Now, the first step in the quarterly planning process is to not only make sure that, your calendar is printed and ready, and if you don't have one, there'll be a link below. You guys can grab these in my shop. So have your calendar printed, and then this is a frame from Target. I have both of these in frames from Target because it allows me to write on them like a dry erase board. And so then at the end of the quarter, I can just go back through and wipe it off and start over. This size is a little bit smaller. This is an 18 by 24 that I printed. And then this one is the traditional size, which is 24 by 36. So gigantic, but fabulous. So what you're gonna wanna do first of all, of course, is make sure that you've got your calendar printed and you've got all of your supplies handy. So make sure you get that frame if you wanna frame it. I use wet erase pens. I'll make sure they're linked below for you guys too. I love the wet erase pens because they don't smear unless I have a wet cloth. So as I'm writing, I don't have to worry about things smearing. So you can grab these on Amazon. I'll link them below. And then you can also have your sticky notes. So I love to use this size. I also love to use the flags. You can see I've got some flags on here already. This particular size is a good size. I'll show you just for a visual of what it looks like on the calendar. So before you can even get started putting things on here, you want to make sure you have all your supplies ordered, handy, and ready to go. Now, when you're getting started, the very first step in the process is to take a look at that 2022 calendar that you have. These are also available in my shop. So take a look at that 2022 calendar and make notes of what's physically happening on your calendar. I go into much more detail with this in my Plan With Me 2022 Masterclass. I'll also link that below. So many links for you guys for this video today. So if you're curious to see how I take a 2022 annual plan and then translate it every quarter, that masterclass will show you exactly what I do in that process. But what I did first is I went through this calendar and I marked off all of the things that were like physical dates on the calendar. So I made notes of some weekend commitments, when I was thinking of doing some promos, when we have my son's spring break, just some physical dates on the calendar. That's really helpful because it allows you to immediately visualize what's going on when. So putting those physical dates on the calendar first is important. Up next, you're going to want to start thinking about the monthly focus. So there's a monthly focus for every month, and I created this intentionally for you guys. As business owners, we get disco ball syndrome. Disco ball syndrome meaning we just start to see all the shiny objects and we're like, oh, this idea, and we bounce around. I don't want you to do that this quarter. I don't want you to do that in any quarter. I want you to have a focus. And so after I've written the physical dates on my calendar, I'm starting to be, marinating on what's going to be happening. Maybe you're planning to do some sort of launch like I am, or some sort of promotional period, something like that. So you're just starting to think through what could this quarter hold. Maybe you want to rebrand, a new website. So many dreams, so many ideas. But what's the focus? And this will allow you to laser focus and know that rather than spreading yourself too thin, trying to do all the things at once, you have this reminder, like I have this right here in my office every single day now. No, my focus for January is our Round 11 launch. And other things might sound awesome, but I'm focusing on the conference that we host, Creative at Heart. We're launching seats in a couple of weeks. That's a big deal. I need to be laser focused on that. If you're starting a website redesign, that's a big deal. That should be a focus. Don't get distracted with other things. You can also use a monthly focus for maybe something like list growth. If you are hoping to really beef up your email list this year, and so you want the focus for January to be email list growth, that's a really good monthly focus. You can also then make sure that your success standard, which is the next step in the process, is related to the focus. So like if you said list growth, okay, well, what do you want to see? Do you want to see 10 new subscribers a week for the month of January? That's a success standard. And then at the end of January, you can see that. You can quantitatively say, well, how many email list subscribers did I get every week? So you'll fill in your monthly focus, you'll have your success standard that will relate to the monthly focus, and then we've also got a section here for notes and things. This is where you can write on it, you can use other sticky notes, just things that you might want to remind yourself of as you are moving on in the process. Now, we've written down physical dates. We've got the monthly focus, we've got the success standard. So what are all of these sticky notes? Like what else do I have on my calendar and what could you potentially have too? Another part in planning out your Q1 is thinking about marketing. Marketing is the lifeblood of small business owners. Y'all know this. You have to constantly show up and remind people what you do and who you serve. And so I love to use my quarterly calendar for marketing. So I've got our launches on here, and then I've got when podcasts are going, when YouTube videos are going, and it allows me to see how much content we're putting out on a regular basis so that I can feel more informed and be more intentional with that strategy. You can decide on your calendar, what do you feel like makes sense for you? Do you want to mark off marketing on here, or would you prefer to use this just for like launch promos? For me, launching and marketing kind of the same, so I'm like doing it all in one to allow myself to visually see it. But for you, it might work a little bit different. So let's recap. Number one, you're going to take your 2022, you're going to flip it into those 3 months, all right? You're going to put those physical dates on your quarterly calendar. Up next, you're going to make sure your monthly focus is highlighted because that's really, really important as you're moving into putting in the marketing and setting some more concrete goals on here, because whatever your focus is, you want to make sure you're finding the time to make that a focus in the month that you're working on.